played in Europe both for Bolton and West Ham. What are your sort of good memories of that, and how different were they from the league games?
Yeah, listen, I think European football, I was thinking out there, I think it was 20 years ago I played probably my first European game for Bolton. Obviously it was a special time at that club, and so you take experiences that along the way, you know. Obviously during them periods we had knockout games and stuff like that. And yeah, you take learnings all the way, you know. And even come back here playing for the Overs at times in this game, I suppose that Champions League game. It's great nights. It's, when you look back on your career when you're done, you play a lot of league games and stuff like that, but for me personally it's European games that I look back on how special they are, you know. But ultimately, look, it's about performance and it's about winning. You don't want to be remembered as a loser. Yeah, no, listen, again, some great times, but look, I think there's been a lot of talk about the previous manager and myself, stuff like this. I mean, it's not about us, you know, it's about the players. Quarter 8 tomorrow night, that's what I'm looking forward to be honest. Looking at our players going out onto the pitch and really putting the best foot forward and really attacking the game and putting in a great performance that, and showing their ability to everyone else, you know.
Joey, look, it's been a mad couple of weeks. When you had to make the decision whether you were going to take this on, how much was this tie in your head, like the size of this tie, the importance to the club? Like how big was that in your thinking at that stage?
Yeah, no, obviously, listen, I was, but I spoke to the lads up in the dressing room the other day. A huge part of it for me was the squad and the quality we have in our dressing room. I think people from the outside look at us and think our league position, we've been really bad and stuff like that, but I think if you looked at all our games across the board, we've dominated most games. Probably haven't scored, you know, the chances we created, haven't scored as many goals we should have, and conceded really poor goals. And ultimately, it's the quality of the player in that dressing room was a massive saying to me, wanting to be here and wanting to lead this team, because yeah, we have a serious squad.
Yeah, like the importance of that Champions League round, as you've mentioned, like this is such a huge. Is that something you speak about as a group? Do the players need to be told that, or is it almost everyone understands the value of this?
Yeah, I think everyone understands that, you know. That's ultimately that's it. But yeah, of course, like that shouldn't be a pressure, you know. As I think I've said before, that's not a pressure. That's a buzz, and that's an enjoyment and an excitement to want to play that game. And these are the games you want to play as a footballer, you know. Sometimes you play league games, especially over here. In the league, it's so small and you play each other so many times, year in, year out. You get so familiar with teams and opposition players and stuff like that. That by playing something different and a mix up now, a European tie, that's why they're so special and that's why you always remember them.
You've had a lot going on the last couple of weeks. Have you had time to speak to any of your former managers, like any of, you know, any mentor-like figures or people you spoke to before you took it on, or have you just been head down, sort of getting on with it?
Yeah, no, to be honest, it's just crack on and just do what we've always done, I suppose. Always, yeah, just continued on training. Obviously, you have the staff in place, there's lads there that we've been working with for the last 3.5 years. It's just speaking to them and just nailing, and obviously on the training pitch and stuff like that, and getting things right for the dressing room. And listen, it's all that stuff is like, for me, it's just in the past. You're talking about war stories, really, you know. It's about what's happening now, and that it's over to the lads now, and I just can't wait for tomorrow night for the boys really to, yeah, as I said, attack the game and put the best foot forward and hopefully to perform, and I think we get the result then if you do.
Joey, sorry, Mark just touched on there about maybe confidence suffering a little bit because you're missing key players through injury. That's something you felt you've had to address since coming in, like to maybe build them up again, try and build that confidence up? I know the team is held to a high standard, but just in terms of trying to build them up, arm around the shoulder kind of thing.
Nah, not really, to be honest, because again, I think our overall performance in a lot of games has been really good. Probably dirty here, that were the ones that I can really remember, probably weren't. But again, tight game, nothing really in it. Lost to a wonder goal. But you know, there wasn't really, I don't think it was that bad. I think people on the outside maybe say, oh Jesus, where are they at, how bad I got down. I didn't feel it was like that, it was just about coming in. Obviously, we got a bit of a shock with obviously the manager leaving, but then it was just like, right here, this is what we do, this is what you get paid to do. We have the luckiest people in the world. Get on with your job, you know.
Joe, you said it there a couple of times about attacking the game, and it's not what the players need, that just conviction when you said it in the fourth part of the press conference about moments in games where you're on top and actually sees the opportunity.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. But here it's about a fast start, but it doesn't matter whether you're playing the Champions League game here or a league game. We play anyone here, we're here to win, like, you know, and we go out and attack the game to win. That's not going to change tomorrow. So obviously, as you said, the atmosphere will be up and stuff, but also it's staying emotional, not getting too emotional, being in control of your performance, yeah, but not wanting it too much that you're tighten up in the night and you can't perform. It's ultimately finding that balance, and listen, that's that's something that we've spoke about. I suppose it's right to attack the game, but yeah, not being too desperate, you know, because otherwise your performance suffers.
And on that point, Mark, is that, I think in terms of confidence, do you feel now, compared to a few weeks ago, that you're ready for that?
Yeah, look, definitely. I think you look at the last 3 performances since the Gavin come in, that we've been very good. We've dominated every game, and on Friday night I think we finally got what we deserved. It was a good, complete performance. And yeah, look, I just echo what he said. No, it's on us. It's an opportunity for us to create new memories. As I said before, it's a new era, and that's what we're focused on. It's about using that energy in the right way and approaching the game in the right way, and doing the business on the pitch.
Joey, obviously, ideally this is the start of a long European campaign. Are the club looking at building a squad or bringing people in this window, or is that Luke's job now? Or?
Yeah, no, listen here, again, this is a game, we're not looking at a big European run or anything like this. This game is a real 50-50 game. It's in the balance. Linfield will be thinking the same as what we're doing, you know, it's a great opportunity, but it's a great opportunity to win a game of football. Ultimately, that stuff in the background, looking at players from a transfer point of view in the window, I always just think it's good to bring in players. Just something that I always think of added freshness and competition. You can't beat it really, ultimately, and sometimes bringing in players and creating better competition is better than the coach, you know.
Is that obviously your job is on the pitch primarily, but is that part of your new role, or?
Yeah, but it would have been part of the role anyways. It would have been discussions about who we're bringing in and what we need and stuff like that. I suppose that's just the football. It's always been the case, you know.
That's your last question.
Could I ask you for a non-Irish audience, could you explain the significance of the All-Ireland dimension of this game and what it means to you and to the club?
And from my point of view, obviously it's a Champions League round 1. I suppose winning the game. Again, I know there is a derby feel to it. Obviously we're playing the team in the north and stuff like that, and they're the champions. But ultimately, it's just an opportunity to progress, and that's how we're seeing it. It's as I said, I'm sure Linfield are saying the same thing. It's a great opportunity for them, like the way it is for us. So it's a 50-50 game, and to be at this stage, to get a Champions League qualifier and have a 50-50 chance of it, it's what you want. Ultimately, we have that chance, and as I said, we're just prepared. The lads are prepared for the game. But it won't end tomorrow night. Obviously, you have to go up there next Wednesday, and looking forward to it.
Do you ever think about the game as the sport as in all Ireland terms? Do you think about that? Are you interested in the Irish League? Do you think how do you feel about the 2 leagues?
Yeah, no, to be honest, as I said earlier on, I haven't seen much of it. Obviously, I've only been watching it since I watched a few of the games from last season. Again, when we pulled them in the draw, really. So obviously, from watching them back end last season and watching the last 2 games they played this season, that's the only thing I've been really focused on, to be honest. And it's just about them breaking them down, seeing their strengths and weaknesses, looking at how we're going to set up against them and stuff like that. So it's just really a focus on this toy and nothing else, really.
And since you returned from England, could you just talk about the development in Irish football that you've seen, or the development in interest in Irish football that you've seen?
Yeah, I suppose from my point of view, I came back and from the playing point of view, I always wanted to end my playing days in the league board, just because I supported it as a kid and I went to matches and stuff like that. Obviously, I had an opportunity then to go up and play at Shamrock Rovers, and it was a team we supported. And yeah, I suppose I probably was in a part and played a small part in that success of that football club for a few years. I suppose from that time, me playing, I suppose it's grown consistently, I suppose, every season, to the point where I suppose last season, the interest in it, I suppose how the league finished down here, I'm sure it was a fantastic way to finish. So I'm sure the people from the outside in the media got a real buzz off that, you know, and ultimately that brings more eyes onto it. And hopefully again, I think our teams, especially with Shamrock Rovers the last couple of years, doing really well in Europe, has again brought a better focus onto the league and a better standard, and got more respect outside of Ireland. So listen, this is an opportunity for us again, I suppose, from the outside to show people that how good the league is really in the standard, you know.
Do you know David Healy?
No.
No. You don't remember kicking him?
No, play against, actually no, George. I would have played with George McCartney. So yeah, it was at West Ham with George, yes, he was a great fella.
Mike, I just ask you as a northerner, with a small M,
From the north of Ireland.
As an Ulsterman with a small U, if you how you feel about that? How do you look at Irish football as a whole, and if you do look at it as a whole?
Yeah, look, I suppose that when I was younger I would have played in the north quite a bit, so I know that the standard's quite high there. I would have played against a few of the lads that play for Linfield now and with them when I was younger, so I would have known what they're like and the quality that they have. So yeah, look, for me I would just echo what he said. I think football in general in Ireland's grown, and it's down to the quality in the two leagues and how well teams are doing in Europe. But yeah, for us now, look, it's just about focusing on tomorrow and putting a good performance and making sure that we do get more eyes by doing the right stuff on the pitch.
Who do you know in the Linfield team?
I would have played against the likes of Scott Whiteside and Ben Hall at underage, so yeah, look, they would have been people I would have played against and known, and yeah, look, they had high quality back then, and I'm sure they do now too, so I'm looking forward to playing against them tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Right, thanks, lads. Thank you.